so last week we talked about one of Ireland's kind of extra long distance trails. So the national waymark trails that we're doing are all considered to be medium to long distance trails, anything from 30 kilometres to 220. So they're fairly sizable. However, there are a couple of trails around the country that are kind of extra long, I guess. So last week we talked about the E8, which is 600 kilometres long and goes from Jersey Island down in Cork all the way up to Dublin. And this week we wanted to talk about the Beara Breifne Way.
So in 1603, Donald Cavan Bear, one of the last kings of Ireland, was ousted from his lands in Cork, and he took 1,000 followers and walked all the way to his nearest ally, which was in Leitrim. Which, if you're not familiar with the geography of Ireland, it's pretty far away. And it was New Year's Eve, so it was also really cold. And, you know, they were on foot. It was 1601, so they didn't exactly have a car. So the Beara Breifne Way follows the trail that Donald Cavan Bear and his followers took to get from the Beara Peninsula all the way to Leitrim. There's a lot of history along the trail. It's a very kind of, what's a good word for it? I was going to say sad, but it's also very interesting. So there's definitely a better word for that. Surely some French writer will have come up with a nice word for it. Sad but interesting. Poignant, I mean. Anyway, it's certainly a very interesting story, and the trail does its best to follow along and to give you as much information as possible, including, you know, there's signposts at churches where they may have stayed, there's all kinds of information. So it's a very interesting thing. I've kind of lost the thread of my train of thought. So,
out of the 1,000 followers that O'Sullivan Bear led north, only 35 people made it after the 14-day march up to Leitrim.
Yeah.
So they lost quite a few people to either just people giving up and deserting and joining little villages, or like small skirmishes and fights, starvation, lots of things. So the Beara Breifne Way is made up of 12 different trails that are all kind of linked together, and many of these are national waymark trails, which is what we're doing, which is why we're kind of doing this overview video. By the end of this project we'll have walked the majority of the stages of the Beara Breifne Way, so while we haven't done it in one continuous go, we'll have seen most of it, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah. We
didn't know when we were starting this project that the Beara Breifne Way existed or was being built or kind of developed. We might have done it at the beginning had we known it existed.
Definitely on the cards to actually do it, to do it, the whole thing.
But yeah, so these 12 trails are divided up into 3 different sections. So section 1 includes the Beara Way, the Sli Gealtacht Mhuscrai and the North Cork Way. And section 2 then is the Ballyhoura Way, the Hymany Way, the Multeen Way and the Hymany Way. Look at us. Okay, and then the final section, section 3, is the Suck Valley Way, the Miners Way. Is that what kind of
I think it goes straight into
Suck Valley Way, Miners Way. Then it would be
Leitrim.
They now have like a Loch Gara Way and the Cavan Way.
That's 13 actually, but it depends. So the trail now, the Beara Breifne Way, the official trail, actually goes to Blackline in Cavan, but the actual end point, the place that Donald Cavan Bear reached was Parks Castle in Leitrim, which the trail goes pretty much right next to.
What I thought was really cool this year is that they've brought out the kind of like the passport.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just in case you've done any other walks in Europe.
So I guess following on from all of the different caminos and kind of pilgrim routes.
If you're not familiar with this idea, basically if you walk a trail, like a long distance trail, some places will have like a passport. You walk into a shop or a B&B or a hotel or whatever, a library maybe, and they will stamp your passport so that at the end you can get maybe a certificate or a high five, and a nice souvenir.
Yeah. And the Beara Breifne Way now has stamps.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah. So they have stamps for each trail that you complete. And I think they also have stamps within each trail. So there might be, let's say for the Sli Gealtacht Mhuscrai, I think there's 2 or 3 like minor stamps you collect along the way, and then you get the official I have done the Sli Gealtacht Mhuscrai. And then when you finish the whole thing all together, you get a blue stamp to be like, I've completed the whole trail.
That's really cool. Yeah. This is why we need to actually do the whole thing again. Because, that way we can collect some stamps, and Ellie really likes collecting stamps. This kind of stamp, not the letter kind of stamp. That was a really weird... Did you get the motion for letter, licking the envelope and putting it in a postbox?
No, I didn't get that at all.
Put it in the comments if you recognise that as a gesture for letter.
Surely you'd be writing a letter.
No, because it's a stamp for an envelope. It was specifically an envelope that I was talking about.
Okay.
Because when you did that could also, you could still be stamping that. Where anyway, moving on. So the Beara Breifne Way is aiming to be accredited as kind of quite a high standard of trail. So now, in fairness, some of the bits we've done, we did them before the trail was really developed in the way that it is. But hopefully by the time you do it, / we do it in the future, a lot of it will be really well developed.
What do you think your favourite bit of the Beara Breifne Way has
Miners
been
Way,
so far?
100%, always Miners Way is best. Although the Beara Breifne Way actually doesn't follow a lot of the Miners Way, it's only kind of a small subsection of it. But still the Miners Way is great and you should do it. One thing that we haven't mentioned yet is that the Beara Breifne Way is also a cycling route. So it's not just for walkers, there is actually a cycling route. And what's great about it is that they are separate things. So that when you're a walker, you're not just walking on road the whole time. And when you're a cyclist, you're not cycling on, impossible mountain terrain all the time. So there are definitely separate things that you can do. If you have less time, probably do the cycleway. And if you have more time / are just basically a cooler person, you should walk it.
The Ormond Way, I think, is in the running to become a National Waymark Trail. So who knows, might have an updated list by the end of this year.
Yeah, right. So if you're interested about any of the subsections of the Beara Breifne Way, we've got videos and blog posts about each of the sections that we've walked, and the links will be in the description, so do check that out.
If you are planning on walking it, or if you walk it, or if you have walked it, let us know what you think. I'd be really excited to hear about it.
We'd really be excited to hear about it.
I think my current estimation is that 50% of it is on trails and 50% of it is on road. So I'd like to know if it has changed or what your feelings about that are. So yeah, if you enjoy our videos, I guess you could support us by liking or sharing it, or
subscribing to the channel.
And we also run a Patreon, which has been an amazing way for us to help fund this project and meet some really, really incredible people. So if you are one of our patrons, thank you so much. It means the world to us.
At the end of all of our videos, we like to thank patrons. In this particular video, I want to thank our families, without whom this entire project would have been not only impossible, we would never even have thought to do it in the first place if we weren't a product of the families that we come from. So a big thank you to all of you. We couldn't do it without you. And also a big thank you to coffee.